Sports presents the 1992 Festival of Baseball. Tonight, live from Al Lang Stadium in beautiful St. Petersburg, it's the third annual Legends of Baseball All-Star Game. And hello, everyone. I'm Mike Hegan, along with former Red Sox great reliever Dick Raditz. Dick, I guess both of us could be out there tonight, but I think it's a little more comfortable right here than it is down on the field.
Michael, it's much more comfortable for me, plus the fact they couldn't find a uniform big enough for me. So I'm much more comfortable here.
Well, I think that's part of what this game is all about. Of course, the fans enjoy it, but the players also enjoy it because it's a chance to get together and talk about some old stories and have some fun.
Same stories that they told last week if they saw each other then, but you're right. It's the camaraderie and the reunion of it all, and plus the fan a chance to treat the fans to some people that still got a little bit of talent left. I think the fans are going to see that tonight.
I think so. This is a great part of the state of Florida too, because a lot of vacationers and visitors down here, and if you're looking for nostalgia, tonight is the night, because I think with the people here, they span from like the 40s into the 80s, so a good representation of the history of baseball here tonight.
Oh, sure. Well, Ted Williams and Stan Musial are going to be here, of course, and then you go right up to Frank White, who just recently retired, and the Dave Kingmans and the Gary Bells and the guys from the 50s and the 60s that you mentioned, the Ryan Durans and so on. So as you mentioned, everybody from every decade.
Well, it's going to be a great night, and Bob Alvarez is with us. He's going to be in the dugout and doing some interviews. And Bob, how about what does it look like down in the dugout? What are the players doing? What are they talking about down there right now?
Well, the players are all real loose, and as you mentioned, this is an opportunity for them to tell some of the old stories and get reacquainted with a lot of guys. This is going to be a great night. It's an opportunity to get close to some of the old pros, and what happens is the competitive juices get flowing. This is my third alumni game, and each year one of these guys rises above the rest. It'll be interesting to see who it is this year. Mike?
Okay, Bob, thank you very much, and we'll be back with the starting lineups and introductions after this. Channel 44 Sports exclusive presentation of the Legends of Baseball All-Star Game is being brought to you in part by your Bay Chevrolet dealers and by GTE. At GTE, the power is on. That's not going to be on until tomorrow.
I got you.
So we can talk about the same old shit.
That's right. We'll say we already ever get done.
Because that's all. We're ready.
Let it go.
Yep. Couch. Welcome back, everybody. Mike Hegan and Dick Raditz with you from Al Lang Stadium in St. Petersburg. Now let's go down to Bill Couch, our PA announcer, with the introductions of the starting lineups.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starters for tonight's Legends of Baseball game. First of all, for the American League All-Stars, the manager. As a player, he spent 11 years mainly with the St. Louis Cardinals, an All-Star in 1947, hitting .363. He later managed the Pittsburgh Pirates and became a noted hitting instructor. Number 1, Harry the Hat Walker. Leading off and playing shortstop, he spent 19 years in the major leagues, mostly with the Oakland A's. A 6-time All-Star, veteran of 3 World Series champions. Number 5, shortstop Bert Campaneris. This graceful outfielder spent 15 years in the major leagues with the Baltimore Orioles and New York Yankees. He played in 6 World Series and was the winner of 8 Gold Gloves. Number 18, Paul Blair. Batting third and playing in right field, this player spent 15 years in the major leagues with the Braves, Indians, and Blue Jays. His rookie season, he hit .330 and won last year's Legends game with a monster home run over the left field fence. Number 3, Rico Carty. Batting fourth and playing in left field, this 9-year veteran with the Tigers and Expo was an all-star in 1976 when he hit .316 with 58 stolen bases and also had a 30-game winning streak. That's 30-game hitting streak, folks. Number 7, Ron LaFleur. Batting fifth and playing third base, he spent 23 years with the Baltimore Orioles, collecting 16 Gold Gloves. He participated in 5 league championships and 4 World Series. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 1983, the greatest third baseman of all time, number 22, Brooks Robinson. Batting sixth and a designated hitter, he's a 17-year veteran of over 5 decades of Major League Baseball with the Chicago White Sox and Cleveland Indians. A 6-time All-Star and winner of 3 Gold Gloves, the venerable Minnie Minoso. Batting seventh and playing first base, he's an honorary captain of the men's Olympic volleyball team. Starred in such films as 3 Men and a Baby and An Innocent Man. In 1986, he had his star placed on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Soon to appear in a starring role in the film Mr. Baseball, TV's Emmy-winning Magnum PI, Tom Selleck. Batting eighth and playing second base, he played 15 years with the Kansas City Royals, participated in 6 league championships and 2 World Series. A 5-time All-Star and winner of 8 Gold Gloves, number 8, Frank White. Batting ninth and catching, he spent 11 years in the major leagues, primarily with the Baltimore Orioles. Catching tonight for the American League is Elrod Hendricks. And tonight's starting pitcher for the American League. He pitched for 18 seasons with the Cleveland Indians, had 3 no-hitters, 12 one-hitters, a Hall of Famer known as Rapid Robert, Bob Feller. And the honorary captains for the American League. He's a Hall of Famer with 15 years in the major leagues, participated in 5 All-Star games and 5 World Series. The only man to hit 3 home runs in a game 6 times. Honorary captain of the American League, Johnny Mize. Also an honorary captain with the American League, this left-handed relief pitcher played for 5 seasons, mainly with the Detroit Tigers. Currently, he's chairman of the board for the Major League Players Alumni Association. Number 13, Bob Miller. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the National League starters. First of all, the manager. He was the third base coach for the LA Dodgers for 8 seasons and managed for 8 seasons in the big leagues with the Phillies. Winner of 3 division championships. Number 1, Danny Ozark. And leading off and playing center field, he spent 12 years in the major leagues with the White Sox and the Mets. AL Rookie of the Year in 1966 and a World Series star with the Mets in '69. Number 10, Tommy Agee. Batting second and catching, this player has an incredible hit streak in progress. In Bull Durham, he wanted to go back to the show. Later, he saw his field of dreams. He batted cleanup in Chicago as Elliot Ness. Last year, he hit for the cycle at the Oscars with Dances with Wolves. Soon to be seen in a starring role in the film Mr. Baseball, number 8, Kevin Costner. Batting third and playing left field, this slugger spent 16 years in the big leagues for several clubs, a 3-time All-Star. He hit 442 career home runs. Number 35, Dave Kingman. Batting fourth and playing first base, he spent 24 years in the major leagues with the Reds and the Red Sox. A member of the Big Red Machine, a 7-time All-Star, Tony Perez. Batting fifth and the designated hitter, a 3-time All-Star with 15 years in the big leagues with the Houston Astros, the toy cannon Jimmy Gwynn. Batting sixth and playing right field, he spent 20 years in the major leagues with the Dodgers and the Phillies. He likes to tell people about his great season in 1969 when he hit 75 home runs and had 220 RBIs. One of the great pranksters in baseball history, Jay Johnstone. Batting seventh and playing second base, he spent 11 years in the major leagues with the Pittsburgh Pirates and San Francisco Giants. The only player in modern baseball history to collect 7 hits in a 9-inning game, number 9, Rennie Stennett. Batting eighth and tonight playing shortstop. He played 10 years in the National League with the Astros, Padres, and Braves. In '67, he hit .310 with Houston. Ivan Murrell. Batting ninth and playing third base, he spent 10 years in the major leagues, mostly with the Mets. A member of 2 league champions and participated in 2 World Series. Number 14, Wayne Garrett. Starting pitcher tonight for the National League, he spent 16 years with the Pittsburgh Pirates. In 1960, he won the Cy Young Award and was named to the All-Star team, posting a record of 20-9 with 18 complete games. Had a son Vance playing in the major leagues. Tonight's starting pitcher, Vernon Law. Honorary captain for the National League. He spent 13 years in the majors, mainly with Brooklyn. A 2-time All-Star, appearing in 5 World Series. This premier reliever won 13 games in 1955. Number 6, Clem Labine.
Okay, there you have the starting lineups. A lot of memories in those starting lineups, and we'll be back with some more of the ceremonial first pitch. Stan Musial coming up right after this.
Musial's first pitch, and after that they're going to do an interview with him, so I don't know.
All right. Who's that, Mudcat?
Ivan Murrell.
And who?
Ivan Murrell.
And who's the other one?
Mudcat and Tug.
Oh, Tug, that's right.
Through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home
Mike Hegan and Dick Raditz back with you at Al Lang Stadium, and we are just about set to go with baseball. All the ceremonies but one have been taken care of here tonight, and the next one is going to be a big one. Stan Musial going to come on to throw out the first pitch. When we went away for the break, I think a lot of fans, Dick, don't realize the other talents of baseball players, and we had a great rendition of the national anthem by Mudcat Grant, Ivan Murrell, and Tug McGraw.
Oh, yeah, and all three of them really do have good voices. Of course, as you know, Mike, Mudcat made a living doing that in the offseason for a number of years. He really does resemble the voice of Lou Rawls. He's a great singer, but all three of them together were wonderful.
There is Vernon Law out there getting ready to warm up, but everybody knows this guy, Stan the Man. Stan Musial, the Hall of Famer, on hand to throw out the first pitch. He's going to get a big round of applause here tonight. Yeah,
Pretty good stuff.
it's pretty good stuff. Stan Musial.
I'll tell you,
Boy, he's great.
This dates me a little bit, Mike. I pitched against him in an All-Star game.
It does date you.
Seems like it was only yesterday. Well, some days
Well,
it does.
he played for a long time. Played 23 years in the big leagues, a Hall of Famer, and it would take you all night to run off his records. Now the players warming up. They've had to warm up 3 or 4 times here tonight. There was a home run hitting contest earlier. The ceremonies took a bit of a long time to be taken care of. And some of these guys, once you, look what's behind us. Look what just walked in the door. The Mad Hungarian. Al Ryboski.
Hello, Al.
First, let's get out of Bob Alvarez on the field. When we come back, we'll talk with Al Ryboski.
Hello, Bob Alvarez with Hall of Famer Stan Musial, who threw out the first pitch in tonight's ball game. Stan, first off, just a great weekend for some of the former pros here.
Well, no question about it. This is good get together. You know, we had a chance to visit and play a little golf, socialize, and hit a lot of long drives. And one thing about it, nobody ever makes it out.
Stan, how about yourself? What are you up to these days?
Well, I'm keep pretty busy. You know, I do some charity work, do some charity golf, play golf, little baseball. Help the Cardinals once in a while, and so just keep kind of busy. So I love killing time.
Do you keep your head pretty much in the game these days? Are you following it pretty close?
Well, I follow baseball. You know, once you're in the game, you love it and follow it, and we all love baseball, so I know what's going on. Really do.
I know you spent a lot of years here at spring training. I got to ask you about the whole area, and everybody here wants pro baseball so bad. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think eventually St. Peter will get baseball. This is a great market, great area. They're ready for baseball, you know, and I think eventually it'll happen.
Stan, thanks for being with us. Enjoy the game.
Thanks. Nice being with you. All like baseball fans. Thanks.
Bob Alvarez with Hall of Famer Stan Musial. Send it back up to Mike Hegan. Mike?
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. And as you take a look at the National League defense around the infield, Perez, Stennett, Royster, and Madlock in the outfield from left to right, Kingman, Agee, and Johnstone, and Kevin Costner behind the plate. What's that, Dick Raditz?
It's only going to be for a minute. And I know Kevin probably feels the same way.
And
it's going to be fun.
There you get a look at Vern Law on the mound. And we're going to be joined from time to time here tonight with guests in the booth after they play. And this guy decided to jump the gun and join us before he goes into the ball game. Campy Campanera is going to lead it off against Vernon Law. A ball and a strike. Al Ryboski, nice to see you.
Thank you, Mike. Of course, I am wondering why first you had the monster up here, then the Mad Hungarian, and then I understand your next guest is a deacon.
Yes, that's right.
Sounds like a zoo.
Take a look at Bert Campaneris' numbers. Of course, a great leadoff hitter for the Oakland A's for many years, especially during their glory years in the early 70s. And Campy gets around on a fastball. This is a great time, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Of course, I got a chance to meet Dick a few years back in Cleveland, one of the old timers games, and you know, I'm a little bit older than Dick, and but I remember him.
Thank you very much.
And
You know, we're gonna have to change this. This is Jackie Hernandez at the plate. I talked to Campy before the ball game tonight. Now, he was introduced as the leadoff hitter, but Bert was telling me he's got a little bit of a stiff back, and I'm sure all the waiting around here didn't help at all. So Jackie Hernandez is going to lead it off against Vernon Law.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of stiffness in both those dugouts.
And there's going to be even more tomorrow morning.
You bet.
A ball and 2 strikes. We are just underway here at Al Lang Stadium. And that one lined foul. So the count remains 1-2. Well, what do you have in store for us? Can you give us anything, a little prelude when you get out there on the mound tonight? Anything?
well, that's why I had to come up here early, is because there is a full moon out tonight. The Gypsy War Gods are active, and I will grow some facial hair between now and then. And I'm hoping I can face Selleck and hit him.
Hit on the ground is short. That is Ivan Murrell, and a nice scoop on the other end by Tony Perez, but the umpire at first base calls him safe.
No.
Well, we've got our first controversy. Close play at first.
Just what Vernon Law wanted. We'll take a look.
The one thing that you see, although Ivan might be playing a little too deep for his arm strength right now. Wow.
Looked like a pretty good
Looked
play.
like
today.
a pretty good play.
Sure Paul Pryor wasn't umpiring first base?
Paul Blair.
I'll tell you, this guy was as good a center fielder as I saw during the time that I played. I know, Al, you were in the National League. I'm sure Dick saw enough of Paul Blair. He could play the shallow center field, still go back on the ball.
We talked about this. We talked about this last night, Mike. And there you see Paul's career on the screen. 17 years. Paul Blair. I think it was a consensus of opinion. I had the opportunity to see Mays and Paul Blair, Willie Mays, and as far as I was concerned, Mickey Stanley in Detroit were the 3 best center fielders I ever saw. Of course, there were a lot of good ones, but those guys stood out, Al. I don't know. You may have some people you want to add in there.
No, I mean, what's interesting, if you talk to some of the National League people, obviously they talk about Mays, but they talk about a guy named Terry Moore.
Yep.
And also Kurt Flood, a couple Cardinals.
There's a good one, too.
Yep.
Kurt Flood, good name. You bet.
I'll tell you, Vernon Law changing speeds pretty good. The first pitch, Paul Blair was way out in front, and Vernon reached back, got a little extra that time. That's the key to pitching, isn't it? Keep those hitters on their toes or on their heels.
You know, hitters are all guess hitters anyway. And of course, I talked to Vern Law a few years ago, and he told me that he knew he had a rotator cuff injury before that part of the anatomy was invented.
Yeah, it was called something else then, wasn't it?
Called an old-fashioned sore arm that sent you to the minor leagues.
Your arm's a runner cuff, and it used to be my shoulder hurts.
Your arm went dead. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now, Al. I'm sure a lot of folks out there would like to know what's going on in your life.
Well, I still have a mercenary school down in the Bahamas. It's quite active, and and when I try to get a little more employment, I am the color analyst for the Cardinal telecast.
How do a lot of us end up in this booth somehow? And it looks a lot easier up here than it was down there, doesn't it?
At times.
At times, yeah. A ball and 2 strikes, top of the first inning. And Paul Blair will go down on strikes.
Blowing away.
Yep.
A gravity sinker.
Well, I'm sure you have some good memories of this St. Pete area. Don't you come down here training down in this area or for a few years?
Well, you know, I mean, this is really not fair to say this to St. Petersburg residents, but a lot of us, as we see Vernon's gravity ball, good location down and away, but, you know, all the old people in Florida live in Sarasota, and their parents live in St. Petersburg.
I hope the switchboards are closed over at this station. I know you're only kidding, because this, I'll tell you, this area has really grown. There you look at Mini Minoso.
But people, 17 years in the big leagues, but what some people don't know, that it expanded from the 1940s to the 1980s.
First man to play in 5 decades.
Well, that's even half the story. What's most remarkable is he has a 3-year-old son.
Is that true?
That is true. And
I never know when you're telling the truth.
no,
So.
that's the truth. And I asked him if there's any more in the plans, and he said his 3-year-old son is saying he wants a brother. But Minnie wasn't going to buy that one.
Minnie just turned 40, didn't he? Minnie's a little bit like Satchel, you know. Who really knows how old he is?
That's right. I'll tell you, he's still in pretty good shape, and he would like to have been able to play in the 90s.
Yeah, I know it.
And to tell you the truth, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, what the heck, for one at bat? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vernon Law with a runner at first base.
You know what's funny about that, Mike? They'd have to pay him the minimum. That's probably more than he made in his 3 best years.
Imagine what that would do to his pension.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's right. 1-2 pitch to Minoso with a looping fly ball, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. So many can still hit. Dave Kingman gets it back to the infield, and the American League has runners at first and second, and 1 out.
You know, we played an old-timers game in Boston 3 years ago, Mike. Louis Tiant was pitching before Louis hurt his arm, and Louis never likes to get embarrassed in these old-timers games. Throwing the ball pretty good. Minnie hit one off the top of the wall, missed a home run in Boston by about a foot. And I'll tell you, he hit the ball 400 feet. He's amazing.
LaFleur hits it on the ground. It could be 2 in the dirt. Nope, safe at first.
Yeah, he looks safe there.
Tell you one thing, I played in an old-timers game with Minnie a few years ago in Denver, and we kind of juggled the National League lineup because we were so far behind, and he really got upset. What a great competitor, and he goes out to play to win.
Well, I think, you know, that's really what is very interesting as you look at second baseman Rennie Stennett.
I think Rennie got his steps mixed up there a little bit.
But you get out here, and it's all fun and games.
Oh.
Ball get by Kevin Costner, got to the umpire.
Down.
Oh my! Oh,
Paul Pryor. Now Paul is a former National League umpire and is a St. Petersburg resident, I believe.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this again. We're going to get another look at it. And Kevin Costner just leveled him.
That's about a 6 in the Richter, isn't it?
Well, I just want to warn you, that's the National League style of play. We're playing for blood tonight. Out of the way, Kevin.
Get out of my way.
Well, I was going to talk about those competitive juices beginning to flow, even though this is all fun and games, and you just showed it to us tonight. Here's Brooks Robinson.
Everybody's having a good time.
We had a pregame meeting. We said this is for blood, but, you know, I guess Kevin took it for granted. You know.
Yeah. Look at those numbers and what Brooks did over his career, and that's only half the story.
What it doesn't say there is his hands.
Yeah, it's only about a quarter of the story, really, because his game was defense, and he was the best.
Bar none.
American League with a run home. Hey, that's not fair, is it?
Costner threw that ball pretty good.
He threw it pretty good, but Ronnie LaFleur in standing. A stolen base for Ron LaFleur. I thought that was outlawed in these games, stolen bases and things like that. Pitch to Brooksy, hop wide at third base, and the count 1-2 on Brooks Robinson. Well, when are you in there tonight? When can we look for your act to go on the road?
Oh, I think when the game's over.
About the 8th inning.
That's across the street.
Hey, that's when I'm really at my best. No, I'm just going to hit Selleck and leave.
That's it.
Can we count on that? I mean, is that a prediction? If you face him, you're going to spin him around?
I think he will find that it's better to go up to home plate, digging a 6-foot ditch so he can lie down.
Okay. You heard it right here, folks, from Al Rabowski when Tom
He also throws pretty good, too.
Yeah, I know he does. I know he does.
That's over with.
That's over with.
I've hurt the arm, too.
Ball and 2 strikes on Brooks Robinson, and Vernon Law misses low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'll tell you, they are really working on these hitters. Popped up on the infield, foul territory. Wayne Garrett drops it. And Brooksy is still alive. Maybe it was the wind. Do you think? Is it still
No,
windy
you know what I
down
think?
there?
You know what I think it is? That glove was probably in somebody's in his cellar for about 6 years. It got a little stiff. That may be the fact, Mike.
So Brooksy gets another chance. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brooks Robinson, another former player who is in the broadcast booth, works with the Orioles. Hit well to center field. But Tommy Agee is there, and that will do it for the American League here in the on the top of the first inning. They score 1 after 1/2 inning from Al Lang Stadium. The score: the American Legends 1, the National League coming to bat. Well, they had Rico didn't hit that inning, did he? And Campy didn't.
They also switched off in
I
the
know they
leadoff
switched.
hitter right off the bat.
And Minnie hit.
Minnie hit.
He hit in Rico's spot, did he?
Minnie hit 4th, didn't he?
Did he hit 5?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he got the base hit. Minoso got the base hit.
Yeah. 3rd or 4th.
They can't do that.
Yeah. Well,
And that was Jackie Hernandez, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Bob Alvarez in the dugout with the ageless one, Minnie Minoso. Minnie, first off, nice contact there in your at-bat.
Well, that's what you have to do. I'm not a long ball hitter. When I used to play, I never think that I'm going to hit out of the ballpark. Just make a contact and protect the last pitch.
Only man to play in 5 decades. What is it about you? I mean, you're still in great shape.
Well, probably I think first, I want you to let me say what I want to say. That's good for the Johnston. When you keep yourself clean without being involved with any drugs, any bad habit, nothing against the law, and love the people, respect the people, that's the reason keeping myself the way I am.
Thanks for being with us.
You're very welcome, and thank you to them. Say hello and goodbye to everybody. God bless you.
Okay, thank you, Minnie Minoso. We'll send it back up to Mike Egan.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. Tommy Agee will lead it off for the National League All-Stars. A check swing, and Jackie Hernandez will throw him out. So Bob Feller gets the first man that he faces. Former Met star Tommy Agee.
Isn't Minnie something, Michael?
Well, you know, and first of all, look at Tom Selleck. Pretty good footwork
Not
over
bad.
there by Tom Selleck. It's amazing, and we've said it before, how old is he? We don't know, but he is in great shape. And the one thing that you always see, I think, Dick, from especially hitters, I mean, they cannot pick up a bat for 10 years.
It's always there.
It's always there. The hands are there. The bat speed is there.
Just like a bicycle.
Yep.
Once you get on it, it's all the same.
Here's Kevin Costner to face Bob Feller. And, of course, Bob Feller, a Hall of Famer, was probably the #1 guy on those great staffs that the Indians had in the late 40s and the early 50s.
I was going to say, Michael, Bob might have pitched against some of those guys that came out of the cornfield, Field of Dreams.
You're right. You're right. Line drive. And it's a foul ball. Just took foul. Kevin Costner got a pretty good piece, but hooked it foul. Yeah, just got out in front of it. Just
Ball was
on
up.
the end of the bat.
Ball is up, and it always looks good when it's right up there. So you get a little anxious,
Yep.
and you have a tendency to jerk it.
2 balls and a strike on Kevin Costner. And Feller misses outside. 3-1 now with 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. American League scored a run in the top of the first. They lead at 1-0. Great crowd here tonight. This place is sold out.
Corner to corner.
And the 3-1 pitch, he walked him. Yep.
You know, I got to think.
I guess no bases on balls, are they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I got to think Kevin Costner's getting as big a kick out of this as everybody else sees.
Oh, I would think so. And, you know, Tom Selleck playing first base. Hit in the air, short left field. Coming on is LaFleur, and it's Paul Blair. We talked about Paul Blair. He can still do it.
Oh, he's a great outfielder. That's just like the hitting that we explained, you know, just like a bike.
Yep, seems that the instincts are there. Just got under it, and you can see Kevin Costner. He is upset with himself that he didn't hit that ball better. So that is going to be all for Bob Feller. Rapid Robert will leave to a nice hand from this crowd here tonight. And it'll bring Jim Perry to the mound. Jim of the Perry brothers, Jim and Gaylord.
500 and some.
A lot of production out of that family, and Jim's getting some production out of one of his sons who is a golfer. There you look at Jim's career, 215 victories.
Gaylord had, what, 300 and some. So there's 500 plus. You know, this Jim Perry, I've always been the impression, Mike, a lot of the guys in the Hall of Fame did it what we call prime time, World Series time, or what have you. Jim had a chance to pitch, I think, in the 65
with
series.
The Twins.
Yeah, of course, the Dodgers beat him. But the point I'm trying to make is if Jim Perry had had a chance to do it prime time and get some people out, those numbers are not so far shy of Hall of Fame either.
They sure aren't. Speak of getting people out, the National League goes down 1-2-3 after 1. The American leading 1-0.
Oh, yeah. He knocked me down. The only guy that ever knocked me down on purpose in the big leagues. I got a base hit on with 2 out. You know, you used to stand in the backyard with your kid. He'd say, 9th inning, 2 out, bottom of the 9th base, loaded 3-2. That's exactly what it was. Fenway Park, I got a base hit off. Dumped it into right field. A week later, we go to Minnesota. Same situation. He knocked me down first pitch. Turned around, Earl Badass.
This is Wayne Granger, huh?
Wayne Granger.
Yeah, he pitched with the Phillies. He pitched in the American League, too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Pitched in the American League? National League with the Phillies, I think, wasn't it?
I thought it was Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, maybe? Well, yeah, that's right. It was Cincinnati.
Tough.
Yes.
Hard sinker.
3 quarters and just...
Yeah.
So who's hitting here? Is this Rico now?
Looks like him.
This is Rico.
Yeah, it is. Followed by Sully.
Right.
You know, Selleck's one of the few movie stars that's as big as he looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, most of those guys look like they're 6'2" and they're 5'7".
Yeah, yeah. I thought Costner was bigger than he was.
I thought he was a little bit bigger too.
Yeah. Rico Carty to lead it off for the American League legends here in the top of the second inning. Takes a good cut. Rico wanted that one, didn't he? Look at his face. he was right on that pitch.
New catcher for the National League team, Randy Hundley's behind the plate.
Randy Hundley and Wayne Granger on the mound. Rico, .299 lifetime batting average. And you look at Rico, and
Dick, we were talking about it a little earlier. You wouldn't teach a youngster to stand at the plate. There's Wayne Granger on the mound for the National League. Look at that, the way he holds that
How
bat.
he holds his hand.
Yep.
So low.
But he is so strong and so quick. And won this ball game here last year with a home run.
You know, when I was with the Cubs in '67, we went over to Atlanta. First, they had the great Hank Aaron and a number of other people that could move the ball. This is the guy I personally, and I was not alone on that pitching staff.
Popped up to first base, and Tony Perez will make the play, so there's one out.
Rico Carty was the guy that I think a lot of people, even above Aaron, the people feared the most. And I'm talking about people like Fergie Jenkins, Ken Holtzman, and so on. Rico Carty was a dangerous hitter.
I think, you know, we talked about Tony Perez as well. He'll lead off the second inning for the National League. But when you think of Rose and Bench and people like that, but Perez in that Reds order was one of the guys that you didn't want to see come up in a situation. Good RBI men, and there are a lot of people you just don't want to pitch to.
Maybe as good as ever was.
Yep. Here's Tom Selleck, and look at who's out in right field. Is that Jimmy Wynn way out there? He's playing on a warning track. See if we can get a shot of that, but he hits it on the ground to second base. Rennie Stennett will cut it off before it gets to the outfield, and Selleck is out number 2. But Jimmy Wynn was playing up against the right field wall for Selleck.
And I'm sure Tom would have liked to reach them.
Oh, that's Jay Johnstone out there. Jimmy Wynn is the DH, and Jay is playing right field. Yeah. Who is that guy anyway? 12 years. That's right. 965 games. All right. Well, that's not too bad.
53 taters.
Yep, not too bad. Here's Frank White, and
52 more than I had.
Just retiring, and this guy may have a shot, an outside chance at the Hall of Fame. Hit into foul territory, and again, Perez is there, so a 1-2-3 inning for Wayne Granger, a quick one. No scoring for the American League. We go to the bottom of the second inning. National League coming to bat. Score, American League 1, National League nothing.
.55, no inning after that.
Yeah, because we go off the air at 10. We go off the air at 9:58, don't we? Something like that, I think. Come hell or high water. Yeah. All right.
Us.
What do we got? Just coming out straight here?
The spaceman. Frank White.
That's still Perry on the mound, right? Yeah.
Okay, Kevin.
Okay, right now. Back in the bottom of the second inning. And Tony Perez to lead it off. Jim Perry on the mound. There you see the American League legends leading 1-0. This is the guy that we were talking about in the last inning. Talk about Hall of Fame.
He's there. He's got real good numbers.
He's got a good chance.
And you know something else, Mike? Tony Perez is the type of guy you want to see get to the Hall of Fame. He's such a personable guy and good friend to a lot of people.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike from Jim Perry to Perez, and that ball is going to go foul.
Brooksy didn't have a chance, but I'll tell you what, 20 years ago, he'd have made that play and
right.
thrown him out.
That's right.
Jim Perry on the mound. Ellie Hendricks behind the plate. And Tony Perez with a ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out, leading off the bottom of the second inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I'll tell you, Jim Perry looks like he's getting it up there pretty good.
A little slider there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with a little something on it. Goodbye.
There's a chance for Brooksy.
Goodbye.
Never a doubt.
Did you ever notice, Michael, even when he was in great shape in his heyday, Brooks always threw the ball just hard enough to get you.
Get you by half a step.
He never threw anybody out by 5 or 6 steps, just enough.
There's another look.
Now watch how close Perez is in the bag when the ball gets there.
There it is.
1 step.
Again, another pretty good stretch by Tom Selleck. He handles himself pretty well around the bag as you look at Jimmy Wynn.
Well, I guess he was a volleyball player of some note at UCLA, and pretty good athlete.
291 career home runs for Jim Wynn, and those are pretty good numbers when you consider playing at that Houston Astrodome.
You bet.
They called him the toy cannon. Boy, he could put him out of any place. I remember, and maybe some folks down here might remember, in the Florida State League, we were talking about this last night. Jimmy played in the Florida State League the same year that I did back in 1962. This is going to be a tough play for Frank White, but he does it.
Good play.
We'll finish the story in just a second. Let's check down with Bob Alvarez and a special guest. Bob?
Bob Alvarez with Kevin Costner, catcher, shortstop. What's next?
I'm gonna go to left field. They figure nobody will hit it there.
How's the experience been for you so far?
Well, it's been good. It's gonna be, as anybody watching might imagine, it's been all smiles.
Lastly, what's happening as far as movies are concerned, and what can we expect next?
I'm down in Miami finishing up a picture called Bodyguard with Whitney Houston, and it'll be out about Thanksgiving or Christmas. So
look forward to seeing
home run, man, home run.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay.
Send it back up to Mike Hegan.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. And we have a new pitcher.
Was he saying
Ned Garver?
He say he wanted to hit a home run, or the movie's going to be a home run?
I don't know what he meant by that. Jay Johnstone hits the first pitch and will drop in front of Paul Blair for a base hit. We're talking about home runs and home run strokes. Let's talk to this guy.
Oh, this is one of my favorites. I never got a chance to pitch against this guy much, Mike. I don't know why. I'm glad.
Not hit very well, but Roy Seaver's in the booth with us right now. And Roy, when are you going to play? Are you just watching, or what's going on? Fair ball down the right field line. Rennie Stennett will hold it first, and
no, I think Bill Lee
goes to third.
The way that ball was thrown in, I think that's Bill Lee out in right field.
He just had an operation.
Yeah, I know. He had his, well, we mentioned it earlier. Why Bill just had his arm operated up in Montreal about a week ago, and here he is out playing. Bill's a gamer, I'll tell you. He's a pretty good hitter, you know. You know, he's a pretty good hitter.
This is one of the old Brownies pitchers, Ned Garver.
Ned Garver, yep.
He was one of my idols when I was a kid growing up in St. Louis.
Well, you know, Roy, he might not get all his just rewards because he was a pretty good pitcher for a bad ball club,
yes,
wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was very true. He pitched last 20-game winner for the Browns. And then he went over to Detroit and had some good years over with Detroit.
This one's going to fall in, so the game is tied as Ivan Murrell. They haven't hit him too hard, have they? Everything's been off the end or off the handle.
And Ned just took himself out of the ballgame. How about that?
That's it. That is it.
These balls aren't even bending the grass when they hit it. Wayne Garrett.
Yeah, Wayne Garrett to the plate. And Gary Bell is going to come on to pitch.
Roy, you better get down there. Roy
It's Gary Bell or
No,
Cox?
Casey Cox.
Cox.
Casey Cox.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Roy Sievers hit Gary Bell pretty well.
If this was Gary, I'd have to get down there.
Roy, I know that you are very supportive of the Alumni Association, the golf outings, and all the reunions that they do. This is a great opportunity to get together and have some fun, isn't it?
Well, I tell you, it gives a chance for every ex-Major League ball player, to get together, have some fun, enjoy yourself, play a little golf. And I urge everybody out there that's been an ex-Major League ball player to join the Alumni, get in some of this fun, because I said you get to see guys like Dick Radich, yourself, and all the other great ball players that have played over the years, and it's just outstanding.
Well, and you know what's fun too, because there's a common bond here. We're three guys from we overlap a little bit, but almost three different eras. But when you get together, you're always a Major League ball player, and you got something in common.
I still get a thrill putting a uniform on.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
care what they say.
Yep.
There's something nobody can explain it. It's just something that's inside you, and it's great.
Well, we're pleased that you came up and visited with us, and we're going to see what you do when you get down there. And I know that you can still swing that bat.
Well, I can swing the bat, but I'm getting a little stiff.
Somebody's going to have to run for you, huh?
You can say that again.
I'll tell you something else, Mike. He can swing that golf club, too.
I know that. I know that as well. Roy Sievers, thanks very much.
Gentlemen,
for
thank you.
Okay.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you, Dick.
Okay. Runners moving up on the wild pitch by Casey Cox. So runners at second and third, 2 outs. And Garrett lifts a fly ball to left field. That may be trouble, and it is. It'll fall in front of Ron LaFleur. 1 run going to score, Stennett. And here comes Ivan Murrell. So the National League takes a 3-1 lead. And the one thing about this inning, and I know that you've been through it before, Dick, as a pitcher, nothing's been hit hard.
I know, and I think you put all those hits together, they wouldn't reach the center field wall, but a hit's a hit, you know. And of course, this is what you expect, Michael. Really, you're not going to see a whole lot of line drives out here. And
here's Randy Hundley.
you know, I've always felt in these games, Mike. I think the people, all the fans here, great crowd as you mentioned, get a bigger kick out of not so much what the performance is out on the field, just to see the guys that get close to them.
Well,
you know, and they all know they're going to have a little pot belly out of them. They're going to be a little bit slower, but just to see them again, like you and I mentioned earlier, it brings back memories to these people.
Yep.
And
to us.
You bet. You bet.
Randy Hundley at the plate, 14 years as a catcher. This guy was a workhorse behind the plate.
I loved him. I pitched Elston Hard in 2 All-Star games, but I'll tell you, this fellow right here was as good a catcher as I ever fielded. Randy Hundley was great. Good guy.
I believe that that was there you see it right there. He caught 160 games in 1968, and not only that, but then I don't know if that was the first year, but he had a streak of 3 years in a row where he caught 150 or more.
Yeah, real bulldog.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a lot of catching. That's a lot of getting up and down.
Son's in the big leagues now. Son's coming to the big leagues with the Mets organization.
Well, it is finally over here in the second inning for the National League, but they come up with 3 runs on 4 base hits. So after 2 from Al Lang Stadium, it is the American League, the National League 3, and the American League 1. How you doing, Bob?
Feel good.
I couldn't get the ball in here to the plate. Finally, like Guadalcanal. Where is this going? Everywhere.
No, this is well, it's St. Pete. Probably the Bay Area. It's probably the Bay Area. It's local, so it's going through the whole Bay Area.
Are you taping it?
It's being taped. It's also going to be used for Phillips 66. I think is going to do something with it. But yeah. So if you want to go back to the hotel room, you can probably watch the rest of the ball game.
I'm in no hurry. How's that?
Ryan Durant tried to throw it up against the screen, but he couldn't reach
Coming
it.
right back. Okay. All right. I'll tell you, they're switching batting orders and people and everything. Right out, or are you going to come to the score first? Okay. Welcome back to Al Lang Stadium. Tonight's game being brought to you in part by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. And we are back live at Al Lang Stadium. Mike Hegan and Dick Raditz, and joined by a Hall of Famer up here in the booth right now, Bob Feller. And Bob, you did your thing tonight. You got 2 outs, 2 quick ones. You were telling us earlier you wanted to get Kevin Costner out, didn't you?
I wanted to get Kevin Costner out because my wife would find out about if he got a hit. And she'd think, then she'd know I was washed up. No, it's good to be with you, Mike, and Mike Hegan and Dick Raditz. Of course, I pitched to Mike, father Jim, one of the greatest catchers, probably the greatest defensive catcher of all time.
No argument.
And the great caller of pitches, too. I never shook him off. His guess was better than mine.
Bob, we were talking when you were on the mound about that pitching staff in Cleveland with yourself and Bob Lemon and Early Wynn and then
Garcia,
later, Mike Garcia,
the big four.
The big four, and it was just a great staff. I remember that. Of course, I was growing up in Cleveland at the time, but always in the hunt with the Yankees, and there were some great times at Cleveland Stadium back in those years.
Yeah, so I used to pack them in, and of course, there's a ball hit to the ground at third base. Fumbles it, fires easily, and an error on the third baseman. And I'm not going to. I've set play-by-play back 50 years when I broadcast for Mutual.
I thought you did a pretty good job. That wasn't too bad right there, and you described it perfectly.
Bob, I want to get serious for a minute. An old adversary of yours just went in the Hall of Fame, Hal Newhouser. Your feelings about that?
He belongs there.
I agree.
Hal won 29 games one year. He won 25, and he won 26 in 1946 and tied me, and he led the league in earned run average. He was a very, very tough pitcher, had a good curve, good fastball, and usually he was pitching to Paul Richards.
Yeah.
Who helped Hal a lot, but he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Of course, there's others too, and everybody has their own man. Like in Cleveland is Mel Harder, and somewhere else is Phil Rizzuto, and somewhere else could be Kenny Keltner, and any dozen of people. Everybody's got about, in every city has about 2 or 3 that they insist belong in, and they're probably right.
Well, Mike Marshall all set to go, the new pitcher, and this ball popped up on the right side.
By Mudcat Grant.
Mudcat Grant. I'll tell you, the one thing about these, how come you aren't down there with a bat? Most pitchers like to hit in these games.
Well,
what kind of hitter were you, Bob?
Well, I'll tell you what I was. The longest hit I ever got, the scorekeeper called a bunt.
So 1 out, back to the top of the order now, and Jackie Hernandez, who is substituting for Bert Campaneris. Campy, I think, with a little bit of a stiff back. So,
you know, you just mentioned a name, Bob, that brings back a memory. Of course, we just lost him recently. The fellow that stopped Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, Kenny Keltner.
Kenny Keltner, that could go to his right better than any third baseman I ever saw, including Brooks Robinson, but he couldn't go to his left. But he didn't have to. We had Lou Boudreau over there.
That's right.
But of course, Brooks Robinson could go to either way, but Keltner could cover third that line as good or better than anybody.
Well, I just met Kenny a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed him. I found it, you had to feel pretty heart sick about it when you found out he had passed.
Well, that was a shame. His wife's been in a coma for 3 years. It's a very sad story.
Check swing, and Jackie Hernandez retired by Tom Selleck. Well, you and I see a lot of the current Cleveland Indians, and I know there are a lot of Tribe fans probably down in this area vacationing. We're hoping for some better things. Saw you down in spring training a couple of weeks ago. This ball popped in the air and caught by Rennie Stennett. So that will retire the side. I'd like Bob to stay around, if you will, through the break here, and let's talk when we come back. The National League Stars leading it 3-1.
The only difference is that we'll probably be playing 3.5-hour games instead of 2.5 hours.
Gary Bell. Get a bat.
Are we doing this coming right back out? When are you going back? You leaving tomorrow? Or are you going to New York? I'm not going back out to Tucson. I'm going to Milwaukee Sunday. We're going to do. Are you? I'm not going back out to Tucson. I'm going to Milwaukee Sunday. We're going to do. Are you going to do Tony with Bob right away? Okay, it's going to be a little tough because we'll probably be in the process here. It looks like they're starting. Hey, sports fans, the world champion Tampa Bay Arena Storm football team kicks off another great season of exciting indoor action on WTOG TV. Catch all the games, away games, beginning May 29th when the Storm meets the Orlando Predators, the 50-yard line. Indoor war live on your 44. And we are back. Bottom of the third inning. Tommy Agee to lead it off against Casey Cox. Bob Feller, we were talking a little bit about the old Indians, the 48 Indians, and it's been a long time since there's been a winner in Cleveland. Ball hit on the ground and bobbled by Brooksy, and that's something I don't think I saw for 20 years.
Somebody get a picture of that?
Please.
Yeah, Brooks just came from the West Coast. He got here about 5 o'clock, and he hasn't shaved in a day or two.
He looked a little tired.
Yeah, he's pooped that he's bought a house out there, and he and Connie, his wife, are furnishing it. So here we are. We're the men on first base, and we'll have to get the play by play. We hope something happens. There goes Harry Walker, the hat number 1, out there to the mound.
And while he is going to the mound, let's go down to the dugout and Bob with Tony Perez. Having a little audio problem there, but Bob, how about the youth movement in Cleveland? Boy, they've got a lot of young players, and they've signed some players and made a commitment there to some long-term contracts.
They have several 3-year contracts with the ball club, a lot of 2-year contracts, and we have a lot of fine position players. The pitching staff is a quantity that's unknown. We have some pretty decent arms. I don't think we have too many with 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. But
there's not many of those around anywhere, Bob, out there.
You got that, Dick. If you can find a kid that can throw at 95, he signs a lifetime contract for big bucks. But
isn't it amazing? The hardest fastball in the American League is a guy that's 45 years old.
That's right.
That's true.
Gary Bell to Kevin Costner, popped up and foul ball.
We have a lot of good position players, and we got unknown quantity as pitching goes, but it won't be until, say, late May or June before we really know to evaluate that ball club. And you can't tell this early. It's very difficult. And it's like the 2 clubs last year went from worst to first.
That's right. That's right. This is inside, does Gary Bell. Costner drops the bat. He's not going to charge the mound, too, is he?
I'll tell you what, Gary Bell hits Kevin Costner. Bell's wife will kill him.
There's a ball high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That looked like a pretty good pitch.
It did. Well, I know the fans in the Cleveland area are hoping that finally, within a year or two, that there might be a contender here. That one Brooksy puts away, so he makes up for it there, and there is 1 out.
At least Kevin got a loud foul off of me. He had a shot down the third baseline. It was a cinch double, but the ball dropped foul by a few feet. Then he popped up. But he's a good all-around athlete, and so is Tom Selleck.
They both are, aren't they?
They're very good all-around athletes. They're very pleasant people, and they're helping us promote the alumni, and I appreciate that, and so do all the alumni people.
Yeah, we all do. I think it's just great for them to come in, and I think the fans here in St. Pete are enjoying this night, not only with Tom Selleck and Kevin Costner, but people like yourself, Bob, who travel all the way across the country as well to be here tonight.
Bob, how many miles, do you have any idea how many miles you put on a year?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Dick, because I put on it probably 3 times or 4 times as more as I did as a ball player.
You are leading the league in frequent flyer miles, I'll tell you that.
That's right. I give them to my daughter and my stepdaughter and my sons and my wife and myself. But I've been in a lot of ballparks in my life and traveled a lot of miles, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. And as you know how I feel about baseball.
Well, you've given a lot back, Bob.
Thank you.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Dave Kingman, and Gary Bell hit him.
Well, knowing Gary Bell, he probably figures that's the best way to get rid of Kingman.
Well, he didn't rub, so I don't think.
No.
He didn't rub, and Gary's going to be upset he didn't rub.
I'm surprised Kingman didn't catch it and throw it back.
Little running fastball there. We've, as you've seen here, not taking any walks, and guys that are hit or something like that, they just stay at the plate because they want to swing the bat. So that's,
and the people want to see the guys hit.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
No stealing bases, no bunts.
We had one steal. That's what I said. Line drive. This one hit hard to left field down into that corner. But he will be held to a single as Tommy Agee decided not to try to stretch it to third base.
Well, I don't know what all the rules are. They kind of make them up as they go along. In
You
these
know,
games.
we talked about that because I have a batting order here and your regular score sheet, and so far it's been about half right.
Well, I'm certainly glad that I'm not doing the audio on this ball game.
Well, a lot of these guys that you know just by looking at them.
Sure.
So it makes it a little easier. Here's Tony Perez. There's Tommy Agee at second base, and Dave Kingman is over at first with 1 out. So the American League with a little threat going here. Or make that the National League.
You know, speaking of pretty good center fielders, there's another one right there, Michael. Tommy Agee.
Yes, sir. And he can run a little bit too when he was younger.
You bet.
Tony Perez at the plate facing Gary Bell. And a strike called by Paul Pryor.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think anytime the count goes to 3-0, you can pretty much be assured that it's going to be strike one the next pitch.
Runners do advance.
Yeah.
Second and third, and Tony Perez. And Gary Bell on the mound. I don't know.
And a 3-1 count. Tony Perez used to dream those things at night.
Scared Tommy Agee a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you're done for the night then, huh, Bob? I mean,
I'm going down a little autographing down along the left field line, and then I'll go and take a shower and watch the rest of the game before going to the hotel. I only have 330 baseballs to sign between now and midnight for the alumni to help promote, which I will be doing shortly, eating my club sandwich and a glass of milk.
Great. Pretty good dance there by Tommy Agee down the third base line. Well, we appreciate you stopping up, and guys that have come up here just to say hello and reminisce a little bit, talk about old times. And Bob, thank you very much for stopping by tonight. We'll see you somewhere along the road.
We'll see you down the road before the summer's over, Robert. I know that.
You sure will,
Okay.
Dick. And
I'll see you
Mike,
in
I'll see you in Cleveland.
Okay, thanks. Bob Feller joining us here tonight. As you look at Tommy Agee at third base, Dave Kingman at second. Tony Perez hits it on the ground. Tough hop for Brooks Robinson, and a nice pickup by Tom Selleck. But a run will score.
Selleck handles the leather pretty good.
Yes, he does. I didn't realize that about Brooksy. I did not see him before the ball game, but Bob Feller saying that Brooks Robinson just arriving before game time. That ball took a tough hop.
I did get a chance to talk to him. Like, he did look a little tired, a little weathered.
Made a good recovery right there for the second out. So a run home, and the National League ahead now by a score of 4-1. Kingman at second base.
I'll tell you one thing, Michael. I know my old roommate's getting a little tired out there, Gary Bell. He's thrown a lot more than he wanted to, I'll guarantee you.
Paul Casanova at the plate for the National League. That's the tough part. And these guys, their arms are going to be dragging tomorrow, and their legs as well.
How about I tell you, the worst feeling in the world for a pitcher when you're winning these old-timers games is to have somebody make an error behind you.
I'll tell you what, Paul Casanova is going to hear about that one when this game is over, because Gary Bell got about as far into his kitchen as he possibly could. National League puts another run on the board. They lead it 4-1 after 3.
Hello. There he is. He was right, too. Was I cutting out a little bit during that inning? The children's home?
Look at this. Look at this.
Grabowski. Well, he was right, wasn't he? Okay. Yeah, I was getting some breakup, and I didn't know if it was going out over the air or not. Okay.
The Mad Hungarian.
Yeah. I wish we would have been able to get a picture of him in the booth when he was up with us, and then this one tonight.
Actually looks better now when he was pitching.
I know. Top of the fourth inning, the National League Legends leading the American League Legends by a score of 4-1. And this is the guy right here who was in our booth. I wish we had had a camera in the booth before, because he had short hair and he was clean shaven, and he told us what he was going to do, didn't he?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I said. I like his hair better now than when he was active.
Yeah, it looks a little nicer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he's got the wig and the mustache on. The Mad Hungarian, Al Hrabosky. Now, is he going to face Tom Selleck? He said he gave us a little preview. He said
he was going to drill him.
Yeah, Jay Johnstone has joined us. Are you finished? You done for the night?
No, just up here for an inning, and then I've got to go back and relieve somebody. Legs and arms are getting awful tired out there.
They were tired before they started, Jay.
Yeah, the post-game meal tonight is breakfast. I'm telling you.
Let me ask, it's nice to have you up here during the game so we can ask you what you were doing playing out against the right field wall when Selleck came to the plate.
Well, Selleck hit the ball very well in batting practice, and, you know, the last couple of days he's been over with the Tigers and Sparky Anderson taking batting practice, and he showed up today with blisters on his hands. I said, come on, you got to take this game serious, you know. And so he hit a few out, but I told him, I said, as long as I've been playing this game, Tom.
Check it out here with Hrabosky. The wind's blowing too much. You can't get that thing lit. I saw him one night in Kansas City go through his deal in Kansas City, and Whitey Herzog was the manager, and he came into the mound, and he was in trouble. Went to the back of the mound, turned around, doing all that stuff that he does. He turned around, got to the rubber, and Whitey was there with his hand out. Give me the ball. He was ready to pitch.
Watch this.
Oh, gee.
Here we go.
Look at Minnie Minoso. He doesn't know what's going on.
Hrabosky's going to go through his act right here. There he comes.
There he's ready. Now he's ready.
That's a showman right there. You know what? The game's lacking some of that today. I really
sure
believe
is.
it.
You're right, Jay. You really are.
Yeah, I got to tell you a story. In one of the first old-timer games that I played in, Al was pitching, and we concocted a story like you guys were talking about earlier. And I went in and I got these Ziploc bags of ketchup. And Al threw one over my head, and I yelled at him, right? And so then I got in the next pitch, and then he hit me, okay, in the back, you know, kind of lobbed it up there. And I charged Al.
Ball is high to Minoso, 2-0.
And I charged Al, and I let the ketchup bags out.
1 out. Go ahead.
And we had ketchup, which looked like blood at the time. We mixed it up right all over us. And the umpire, nobody knew about this but us too. So the umpire runs out there and says, I got to throw you guys out of the game. You know, you didn't know what to do. You never had anybody get in a fight in an old-timers game before.
Game misconduct.
Yeah.
And then we went back in and we changed uniforms and came out in different numbers and continued to play. You know?
Oh, brother.
1 out. Here's Ronnie LaFleur, and Hrabosky looks like he's throwing pretty good. He must be throwing some batting practice over there.
Al's been trying to get a job for 5 years. I'm telling you, he's throwing hard.
0-1 pitch. Jammed him. 0-2.
Hey, you guys know if you're a left-hander today and can pitch, you make $2 million. If you can throw strikes and be left-handed, you make $4.
You bet. That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know. They need more left-handers. They're signing anybody.
That's a fact.
0-2 pitch to Ronnie LaFleur. A breaking ball hit on the ground up the middle, and this will go in for a base hit.
Jay Johnstone, tell us what's going on in your life these days. What's happening?
I've got a couple of TV shows coming up. One I was out here filming today and down here in Florida called Baseball's Funniest Pranks. It'll be an hour special on ABC. And then the first week of April on Saturday, my Super Sports Folly shows start. I'll do 40 weeks worth of those.
Beautiful.
Jay, you do a great job of those. So those are funny. Those are good.
We try and get all the bloopers that we can, and you know, and then to put them together, and it really turns out well.
Here's Rico Carty, and Robowski heated up on that one pretty good for a strike. I understand, however, they turned the tables on you tonight. Is that right?
Those dirty, rotten scoundrels. They hit me with a shaving cream pie out there.
1-2 now on Rico Carty.
I was going to say, I look back over the years I played, and tonight, one of the guys who just pitched, your roommate, Gary Bell, was the guy that I got my first major league hit off of, and he was the guy that instigated that pie.
Got him. LaFleur tried to steal the base, and they picked him off.
Let me follow that story up with one of these, my 50th surprise birthday party back in Boston. Here's a replay. Ron LaFleur's
his timing's a little bad, isn't it? He jumped the gun just a bit.
What was the old saying? Don't play that piano, just pull it. But to continue the story, my 50th surprise birthday party, Gary Bell came in from San Antonio, Texas. They dressed him up in a gorilla outfit. I did not know who it was. He hit me with a pie when I was looking the other way, and I wanted to kill him.
Rico comes through with a base hit. Solid single up the middle.
Gary's got to think about pies.
Well, it wasn't only Gary, it was Ryan Dern and Jerry Moses and a couple other guys. They pinned me on the ground, and I've been friends with Tom Selleck for years, so I was hollering for Magnum, right? I'm going, Magnum, Magnum, help. He wouldn't come help. I said, nice friend you are.
You're on your own.
That's only in pictures does he come by for help.
Said, you know?
Here's Brooksy with 2 outs and a runner at first base.
Bill Lee.
Oh, Bill Lee, all right. Doing some running at first base, a pinch runner. And the ball is inside. Well, I know you got to go back and go to work, don't you?
I'm going to go back here right after this inning. And
are you going to get any more at bats?
Probably. I would think maybe at least 2.
Whoa. Well, let's see you hit one then, huh?
Well, you know, the last base that I got, I really jolted it, but the wind held it back. I mean, about 88 feet, but I got a hit. You know?
Uh-oh. This one might... Now it's knocked down by the shortstop, Ivan Murrell, but they're safe all around as Ronnie Stennett not able to come up with it. So, or make that, yeah. No, Frank White and Hernandez. I got my teams mixed up here.
Well, what the heck?
It's spring training, isn't it?
That's right. Everybody's got to practice.
So runners at first and second, and 2 out. And Tom Selleck is going to come to the plate. And remember what he told us earlier, folks. So we shall see where the first pitch is going to go.
I don't know how many people know this, but Tom Selleck was an excellent volleyball player at the University of Southern California.
We talked about that earlier. I had heard in some circles that he was an All-American. I'm not sure if that was true, but...
Well,
you knew that was coming.
True to his word. And the runners are circling the bases.
You knew that was coming.
Paul Casanova.
Bill Lee scored.
Bill Lee has no idea what's going on. He's just running.
Paul Casanova trying to help Selleck up, and a run scored.
Bill Lee and Robowski both think they're playing in Utah right now. They have no idea what state they're in.
So it is now a 4-2 ball game, and there is Robowski. Hit well, but right at the right fielder. Selleck gave it a pretty good ride.
Yeah, he did. Look at Robowski.
Yep.
Look at that hair. Is that beautiful?
The inning is over, and the National League leading 4-2. Hey, Randy.
Nice setting me up here.
Let's sit down. We'll go over there.
All right, let's go. 2 and 5.
How you feeling, old timer?
I feel like this is what I am today.
You're still in pretty good shape, though.
Like it's
Is that right?
No, Rick Miller had both of his in place. He's getting along well. What do you have it done?
2 years ago.
It's about when he had his done, too. He got a job, you know. He's working for the Giants. No, yeah. Minor league league stuff. Yeah. Did you ever meet him, his wife? It's Carl Fisk's sister.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, hot.
That's right.
Yeah, real attractive gal. She is funny. Janet.
Okay.
Her wife, her and my wife, and
you want to do the promo this inning or not?
Our condo up in Vermont. I guess they really
Hello?
They draw silver bread for about 4 days. But they're good people. She says she's not close to Carl. She is.
Oh, that's your father.
Okay.
15.
I don't know if I should be standing this close to him because he's kind of riled up tonight. The Mad Hungarian, now Raboski. What gives?
How dare those guys hit the ball like that? I need better defense for one thing, but that's Selleck. I wanted to hit him in the head so bad. He hit the ball pretty
he
good.
ripped you.
I'll tell you what, I hope I get another shot. It might be in after this game's over, but I'll meet him out in the parking lot.
What was that at the start of the inning there, the yellow smoke?
Well, I used to be known for throwing smoke, but I don't go up there the way it used to go, and I just had to rub it up, and you rub so much fire and brim into that ball that it starts smoking.
Looks like you were throwing it pretty good.
Yeah, but my arm hurts.
What's happening?
I'm really in pain right now. I mean,
what's happening with you right now?
Other than the mercenary school that I own in the Bahamas, well, I do the color commentary for the Cardinals and their telecasts.
How are the Cardinals looking this year?
Oh, we're looking pretty good. Hopefully we can get McGrain back, and it appears that Todd Worrell will be healthy. And Joe Torre did a great job last year at the ball club, and the players did it themselves. They worked hard, and it paid off, and I believe in them, and I know they're definitely going to be a contending team.
Okay, thank you. Why don't you go sit down and cool off a little bit?
Is that a bat or is that a microphone? If there's a bat, I'm going to hit you right now.
It's a microphone then. Thanks, Al. The Mad Hungarian, Al Rabowski. Mike?
Okay, Bob. Don't you think he ought to go? He should probably go up with Hulk Hogan. He looks like something out of the WWF, doesn't he?
I'll tell you, with the controversy about Hulk Hogan, I don't know if anything.
Ivan Murrell with a runner at first base, nobody out, will loop a fly ball into left field for a base hit. So
it's about the 10th flare we've had.
Yeah, the National Leaguers have a threat going here in the 4th inning. They lead at 4-2, and they've got 7 hits now. Murrell has a pair, but that's nothing new for him.
No.
He went 7 for 7 in a ball game. Was the only player to do that in this century.
Well, you know what? There was a guy, I guess he did it in extra innings. The shortstop for Detroit, Cesar Gutierrez.
Right.
Got 7 hits in a game. Evidently, that was an extra inning game, Mike.
Wayne Garrett pops it up on the infield. The infield fly is in effect, but Frank White is there anyway, and there's 1 out.
You know, talking about multi-hit games, I heard a stat which I knew before, but I heard it again the other day, and it's still amazing to me. That Gene Stevens got 3 hits in 1 inning.
Are you kidding?
Never heard that
That'll
before.
never happen again.
No.
The only man to ever do it. 3 hits in 1 inning.
We are joined in the booth by Randy Hundley, who, how does it feel to play second fiddle to Kevin Costner?
We know you're
bad,
better.
I guess.
We know you're better looking, Randy.
Yeah, that's right, man. I tell you, I don't know how in the world he takes it. He really handles himself well with the public. They're just after him all the time. They never did that to us.
No.
And Mike.
We never got a spot in Dances with Wolves, that's right.
Mike Cuellar on the mound right now for the American League team, and he's facing Tommy Agee, who hits it well down the left field line, but playing him perfectly is Ron LaFleur, and there's 1 out. We were talking about you when you were in the ball game, Randy, and it doesn't happen much anymore, but you were an Iron Man. You caught 160 games 1 year, and 3 years in a row over 150. They don't do that anymore these days, do they?
No, they don't, Mike, and I don't know that I should have been doing that myself, but I don't, you know, I'm glad that I was able to do that. people think that the bad knees that I have now was caused by all of that.
Well hit
Look at
by
this.
Kevin Costner, but again, LaFleur is there. I'll tell you, he gave that a pretty good ride. We'll continue the conversation with Randy Hundley when we come back. After 3.5, it's the National League 4 and the American League 2. Everybody's swinging at the first pitch. You can't get into a conversation. I know. I'd say, yeah. I should have known better.
What have you done about?
Okay. Okay. Got a base hit today. I saw him today get a base hit. Hello, Michael. How you doing? Good.
Hey, Mike, how are you? It's good to see you. Yeah, how you been?
Got a base hit today. Swung the bat pretty good. I saw a couple of his at bats today.
What'd you get in, Mike? How's everything going? What's going on? You all done with that now? Well, I have the illustrations. First right thing is Charlie O'Brien is there and says.
When he comes into the game, I just leave.
Yeah. That's good. It's good to see it. We're off here at This is my son, Dick. This is Mike Marshall.
How you doing? Randy Hundley.
I'm sorry.
Well, the Festival of Baseball continues tomorrow and Sunday with a baseball fair, autograph, and memorabilia show at the USF Activities Center. Come on out and meet the legends of baseball. Tickets available at the USF box office. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. First pitch hit by Frank White, but Tommy Agee is there in center field, and there's one out. One more question, Randy, you're a proud papa. I know you've got your son Todd playing with the Mets. It's got to be a real thrill to have a son to follow in your footsteps.
Mike, you know, when you play the game yourself, it's something. But when you have a son to do it, it's just something extraordinary. And of course, your dad went through it too, with you having an opportunity to play.
But it's great to see that happen. To have a son, I guess, who has not only the talent but the interest to follow in your footsteps, and it's got to make you very proud, I would think.
Well, to say the least, you know, and I don't think that he became a catcher because of me. He just took up catching as a young kid and has always wanted to do it, and has worked very hard at it. And of course, I've worked with him a little bit to try to make him as good as I can possibly help him be.
Jerry Moses, former Red Sox catcher, one hop to the second baseman, and there are 2 quick outs here.
You guys notice one thing in these old-timers games. It's always the same. The good hitters get their base hits, and the bad hitters just can't hit.
And we keep
was that an
right.
Was that an inference? Is that an inference towards Jerry Moses?
Well, no. Jerry and I were teammates. We know how one another play.
Is he the nicest guy you ever met?
Oh, Jerry's a great guy.
Yeah, he really is.
We were together out in San Diego, which was a lousy year for us, but we had some fun.
Well, I see Jerry a lot up in Boston. Chris lives up in North Andover. And,
tell you, this is the second inning out here for Al Rabowski, and he's heated it up just a little bit.
And he's getting a little upset. Check him out.
He's getting ready to go after it now.
0-2, 2 outs, and he wants to go after him right now.
And I tell you something, I caught him, and I want to tell you, he still throws the ball hard.
Yeah, he does.
Yes,
I think he's looking for a job, Red.
Got him. That's it. He got him. The inning is over. National League All-Stars leading 4-2. Thank you, Randy.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Good to see you, Randy.
Good seeing you, Dick.
What are we doing? Coming right out here? Doing this right off the top?
Yeah, put them on, Mike. You know what's going on, yeah.
Who's leading off for, is that Kingman?
Yeah.
Hey, Buck fans, beginning in August, get your first look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers under new head coach Sam Weish. Catch all the preseason action and the games. The Weish Report all season long on Tampa Bay's official Buccaneer television station, WTOG TV, your 44. Stan Bonson on the mound now for the American League, and he's facing Dave Kingman.
Seems like Kingman's been up about 10 times.
Yeah, every inning he's up.
I'm not so sure he has. He's probably bullying guys. You're not going up there, I am.
It's the bottom of the fifth inning. National Leaguers leading by a score of 4-2. Now joined by Mike Marshall, who's already done his job. And Mike, I think you could probably go back and do it again. We were talking between innings.
106 games.
Hit high, but this is not going to be far enough, and I think the wind is going to take it out of play. Your area of expertise, kinesiology, which I guess has to do with the bodily functions and that sort of thing. And
Dr.
Of, I know. Use it when you were pitching all those innings and all those games back then.
Absolutely. I never would have had a career without kinesiology. It's the reason that I was able to do as much as I did.
One out as Kingman hits it high and deep to right center field.
I'll tell you, Mike, I pitched in 79 games one year for the Red Sox, and I took 3 months off just to lay down. This man pitched in 106 games and could have pitched in more.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but Dick threw hard.
Well, that was the Cy Young year.
Yeah.
That was a great year for you.
I loved it.
I know you did.
Stan Bonson, who was a hard thrower during his days with the Yankees and the Expos, over with the Oakland A's as well, a 20-game winner, facing Tony Perez here. And you were doing some college coaching as well, is that right?
Yes, I like to teach at a college and coach the baseball team. That gives me the best of both worlds.
Backs Brooksy up, and Brooksy's starting to loosen up. The arm looks a little better right there as he throws out Tony Perez. Do you get a chance to do many of these functions, Mike? Do you enjoy doing this sort of thing?
Yes, I enjoy getting out. Of course, I play in the summer leagues around here. I live in Zephyr Hills, and I play over in the Clearwater League and the St. Pete League, in the over 30 leagues, and it's just great fun to be out in Florida where you can play all year round.
You know, that's interesting that you say that. You know, as you look at Paul Casanova, a lot of guys, when their career is over, it's over, and then there are some guys who like to, you know, when you've done it at the major league level, to want to still continue and do it in the Sunday beer leagues, if you will, is really, it's really great.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and as am I approaching 50, I might move up to the over 40 league, but I'm still in the over 30 league.
Good luck with it. Thanks for being with us, Mike Marshall. And to the fifth, National League 4, the American League 2.
This Tug. What's that?
What are we doing?
Bob or Selleck.
Okay. You know, 2 or 3 would have been enough.
You got, I think, 10 seconds. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I know it. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's some bad hops out there, partner.
Okay. 15. Bob Alvarez in the American League dugout with Tom Selleck. Tom, first off, the Mad Hungarian coming at you out there.
Yeah, I had to hang in there after that.
Got pretty good wood on that one.
Yeah, you know, I expected a little more gas on the ball, and I was out in front of it a little bit, so I didn't drive it. But, yeah, I hit it okay.
How's the whole experience been for you?
Well, it's great, except for the ball behind my head.
You got a cut there. It's a little rough out there, huh?
Yeah, it's been rough. Didn't you see the collision?
I must have blinked.
Yeah, I think you blinked.
How any movies coming out, or what's going on?
3 coming out. One called Folks with Don Amici coming out May 1st, which is a picture I really like, comedy. And then this summer, Mr. Baseball. And then I did a picture with Marlon Brando called Christopher Columbus, which is coming out in the fall.
Well, we look forward to seeing them, and have a good rest of the game.
Thank you.
Tom Selleck, we'll go back up to Mike Hegan.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. I don't know if maybe Al Rabowski might have heard what Selleck said. I thought he was expecting a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tug McGraw on the mound for the National Leaguers, and a gentleman who visited us with us in the booth earlier, Roy Sievers at the plate.
2 of our favorite guys
Yep.
right here. These people are great. Tug's a wonderful guy. Big contributor to the alumni. Of course, on the board, board of directors, and does a wonderful job.
Hit in front of the plate.
Oh, Roy's going to hear about that.
Yeah. Tug's got up. Roy Sievers was the Rookie of the Year in the American League in 1949. He had some great years with the Senators. And Tug must have still had the wet one in his hand. That slipped. Bill Lee, who is the designated pitch runner. He's the only guy that can run, I think, down there. So here's Paul Blair with 1 out, and the American League All-Stars trailing the National League by a score of 4-2. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 7 hits for the National Leaguers, 6 hits for the American Leaguers. This could be 2 for 1, and the relay is by the first baseman, Tony Perez, and Blair will go to second.
Bill Lee slide.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Boy, Bill's a gamer, boy, I'll tell you. He comes out there, he plays it.
So the runner retired at second, but Paul Blair will head to second base.
You know, Reddy Stennett turns this pretty quick. The ball just didn't get there about 88 feet.
Yeah. And it kind of short in between hop.
Yeah.
Tony Perez, really, it was a tough hop for the first baseman. Here's Manny Minoso with a runner at second and 1 out, and Tug throws him some high heat right there.
Look at Minnie.
Yep. I'll tell you, don't you folks at home over 60 try that.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
Don't try that at home. 1 ball, 1 strike. This guy is still in great shape, got a good swing.
You know, he and Nolan Ryan are going to road show. Put a road show together.
You don't lose the hands, the quick hands, and the bat speed. And you see guys like Minoso, they can do it in their sleep.
You know, you think you know, if you play till you're maybe 35 and you're out for 10, 12 years, you still got a little snap to it. What happens when you get over 60? Aren't you supposed to lose it? I mean, just lose it.
Normal guy would. Popped up short right field. Rennie Stennett going to make the call. He makes the play. A little tough out there with the wind.
Exciting.
Yeah, made it exciting, but that will do it. And at the middle of 6, it is the National League 4 and the American League 2.
Ken Sanders and Jerry Moses.
Ken Sanders and Jerry Moses? Yeah. Okay. What do we got? One more inning to go. Is that right? 7 innings? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they could, because if we get to the top of the 7th and it's still 4-2, the game would be over anyway, right?
I think they'll probably play the top of the 7th. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would. Well,
only
no.
because of the fact they are behind.
The TV is dictating it here.
Yeah, I hear you. But we do have, well, how much time?
We got about 17 minutes. Huh? Yeah. Okay. Mike Egan and Dick Raditz back with you at Al Lang Stadium. Tonight's game being brought to you in part by your local Bay Area Chevrolet dealer. Bottom of the 6th inning, National League leading by a score of 4-2. There you see the numbers: 4-7-3 for the National Leaguers, 2-5-1 for the American League. Rennie Stennett hits Ken Sanders' first pitch between short and third for a base hit. So a leadoff single for Stennett, and the National League threatening again. They put numbers up back-to-back, 3 in the 2nd inning, 1 in the 3rd. American League scored once in the 1st, once in the 4th inning. Ivan Murrell, who is playing shortstop tonight.
Interesting battery here too, Mike. Kenny Sanders, of course, on the board of directors with Major League Baseball Players Alumni. Look at this. Let the showman have it.
Kenny was looking around for help.
Yeah. But I was just saying, Kenny Sanders, of course, on the board of directors for Major League Baseball Players Alumni. Jerry Moses behind the plate, probably the one single person more so than anybody responsible for the increase in the pension.
That's right. We can talk about that when this ball comes down. But look at Kenny Sanders. Get out of the way, Kenny.
Get out of the way. Go hide.
He wanted somebody to catch it. Of course,
you bet.
A lot of you folks out there may realize that over the last couple of years, this ball topped on the ground. It could be 2. There's one. First double play of the night. Jay Johnstone hits into the double play. The inning is over. And we'll be back with the 7th after this. Yeah, that's a good point.
Tug's still out there.
Yeah. Mudcat. Or is that Rico? That's Rico. Or is that Mudcat?
Where?
Is that? Swinging down there. No, that's Rico.
That's Rico. Pete Ward's going to hit.
Okay.
He had a ball off me in Chicago one night that came down about 2 days ago. Gee.
Back at Al Lang Field, top of the 7th inning, National League leading the American League by a score of 4-2. Mike Egan and Dick Raditz with you. And Dick was talking about the increase in the pension plan, especially for some of the older players, the guys who started the pension way back in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. And for many years, there weren't any increases built in for those players who really, Dick, probably needed a lot more, obviously needed a lot more than the players of today who are making the big bucks.
Well, what happened, Mike? Jerry Moses, along with Carl Warwick and a number of other fellows, but specifically Jerry, went to Major League Baseball, Donald Fear, if you will, and the Players Association, and simply got everybody an increase from 1947 up to 1970.
That's great. Pete Ward going to lead it off and hits it well. Line shot to right field for a base hit. Tug McGraw, before he threw the first pitch to Pete Ward, had brought all his outfielders in.
Not against Pete Ward.
I know
Pete
that.
Ward still swings it good.
Ward, of course, played with the White Sox and the Yankees, a third baseman. Here's Rico Carty. He has singled and scored tonight. As McGraw works out of the stretch, Rico hit it right straight down. I think that got a piece of Paul Casanova.
Just what Paul needed.
Yeah. He's been back there for 6 or 7 innings.
What a great guy he is, Mike. I'll tell you, he's always going to smile for you and never forget your name. Paul Casanova's a real good man.
Paul Casanova in his playing days had a cannon for an arm. He could throw.
Reminded me a lot of Manny Sanguine.
Yeah.
The way they sat up behind the plate.
Rico chases some high heat from Tug McGraw, and it's 0-2. Rico with the smile on his face. 1 for 2 tonight.
Never gets cheated.
1-2 pitch from Tug, and it's popped up behind home plate. Talked about the crowd here tonight. Jam-packed house. Good crowd. And they've really been into the game, too. They have enjoyed this ball game. And it's been a good one. Hit well, but not well enough. Now coming on is the left fielder. That's Costner. Think he was playing deep enough?
Was that him out there?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Not bad.
Pretty good catch. He was playing way back there for Rico Carty.
Well, I think he'd probably be the first to admit he goes in on the ball, Bernie goes back.
Pretty good running catch in left field by versatile Kevin Costner.
Pulling a Burt Campaneris here today.
Yeah. There's Brooksy. Base hit. Brooks Robinson. Jumped on Tug McGraw's first pitch. And the Hall of Famer has himself a base hit tonight.
I think Brooks is going to sleep good tonight. Like,
yeah. Here's Tom Selleck. Runners at first and second. 1 out. American League with a chance to tie it here. Trailing 4-2 in the top of the 7th inning. I don't think he's going to have to expect. Tug might get it up there pretty good to him. He was talking about Rabosky and expecting more from Rabosky, and Tug threw him a breaking ball. Started him off with a curveball. See if he comes back with the high heat right here. No balls and 1 strike on Tom Selleck. Popped him up. Short right field. Jay Johnstone.
I think he turned the ball over to him that time.
I think he did.
Yeah, a little screwball.
I think he did. I think that's Kingman in right now. They, of course, making all the changes and don't really give us the same information that you would get during a regular ball game.
Right.
So sometimes we have to wing it up here, but that looked like Dave Kingman making the play. And here's Frank White.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Lined into left field, base hit. 1 run's going to score, and Brooksy is heading for third base, and that throw's going to get there in a hurry.
That's Costner.
That's Kevin Costner who made the throw, and he threw out Brooks Robinson going to third base.
Pretty good throw.
Not a bad arm right there. They challenged him. Here's another look.
I mean, really threw him out.
Yes, he did.
Okay, there were days when I played in Boston. I wish those arms were our outfield.
Well, the final score here tonight, the National League All-Stars 4, the American League All-Stars 3. And we'll be right back.